Good evening, everybody. I have some noise in the background, so if you will give me a second, I'm going to walk away and deal with the sound. Alright, so I guess I get to find out if I get in trouble on Twitch for spending 30 seconds to go and mute something that I should have muted before I started broadcasting. Welcome. You will actually have something to look at in just a moment, but good evening. Good to see you all. However many of you there are. I rushed a little bit in getting the cast going, so I'm going to take a moment here and pop out my chat so I can see all you lovely people. It says I'm still offline, which is perhaps slightly alarming to me, but I suspect that's a bunch of nonsense, which I'm going to see as soon as I turn this game on. There we go. Let me just make sure that the... Oh, hello, Russian. Alright, we are live. So, welcome everybody. We're going to be playing a new game. I'm going to guess when I set these settings... Yes, there is English. I hope this is yes. Oh, looks like I need to reset. Alright, our first fail of the night. I've got a continue game, so this is going to be a bit of an interesting one, so a little bit of background for this game I think is in order. I have got a site that I normally go to sort of check out new games, see if there's something that developers might be looking for coverage of. A lot of it is not my kind of thing. A lot of it is also... Of the things that I'm interested in, a lot of them are also high-profile games, so you're never going to see me do something like Deus Ex. So there's this little sweet spot of, you know, not wanting to ape other casters. So like if I see somebody, a good example of this might be something like Guild of Dungeoneering. That seemed like it would be a game that I would enjoy playing, but I sort of missed the boat on it, and I didn't really feel obligated to cover that after so many other casters had done it. And I mean, more importantly too, there's no assurance. Once the game is successful, I'm not entirely sure that the developer necessarily has an interest in just anybody playing it. So it's a little bit of a rarity for me. I think the game might be a little bit louder than I want it. Sorry, headphones users. Take that right down. All right, I think that's probably something we can work with. So, yeah, it's a bit of a conundrum for me to do games that are new because I mean, again, there's a lot of competition, which is good for me as a consumer. A lot of games clamoring for attention, but when I take a look at my normal resources for finding new games, I talked about Jessie Quill and how she's so helpful at kind of bringing stuff to my attention that she thinks I'd like. It's rare for me to find an indie that I've not heard of before that sort of seems like my sort of thing. And that's what AuroraRL. Now I'm a little confused about the RL because the title here says Aurora, but all of the branding stuff that I saw for this game does say AuroraRL. Oh, it's probably Aurora Roguelike. But yeah, so I mean, you've got it in the title, right? Roguelike. That's one reason I would be interested in it. It's an interesting art style. It's early in development, which is kind of fun. I mean, part of the fun of doing these kinds of games are sort of seeing the thing take shape and I don't know, move towards I don't know, maybe finding something that I was really interested in, wouldn't have normally been exposed to. So I put in a request, and I didn't actually hear back right away. I sort of assumed that, it was somebody who wasn't interested in doing doing this kind of coverage, or that I wasn't big enough for them. And then sort of out of the blue, I got this notification that here's a key, go nuts. So I had to sit on it for a little while just because I've got a lot of stuff in the pipe, but I did want to get back to this game. There's actually one other one that I recently got a key for, which I'm going to do some coverage of as well. But one, I'm very interested in this because I liked FTL, and certainly there's nothing wrong with a little more roguelike in my life, and I like space games. But it's also the one that I got the key for first, so I wanted to do right by the developer and try and do the best coverage that I can. Hey, OCS Spectre, I am well. It's a later start tonight. That's usual for Fridays, I think. And decided I'm going to play a new game tonight. It is maybe worth mentioning, I do hope that some of this stuff... Hey, Jesse Quill, thank you very much for that host. I will give you a shout out after the start. One of the reasons I didn't play this game beforehand, it says continue game, that was mostly just to make sure that nothing funny happened on... Nothing funny happened on OBS when I started this game. But I'd like to think first impressions sort of matter, and if I can get some sort of a document of my unvarnished response, well, I mean, obviously I'm going to put on a show, so, it's not going to be watching somebody in isolation and knowing the contents of my head, but I do try to verbalize, you guys know this from my style, I do try to verbalize my decision-making process through a game, and so it's a little bit of a special opportunity. One, of course, this is a game, if you take a look at the version, right, 0.5.4, so it's a game that's still in development, so hopefully, if the developer's watching, this will at least give you an impression of what my experience was playing this sort of sight unseen. And for you guys, you get a chance to see sort of how I approach a roguelike, a genre known for its difficulty, for the first time, and how I learned from my failures. So, I think I've sort of babbled enough. Let's take a minute and start up the game. This is available on Steam. I don't believe it's available on GOG yet, but if you'd like to know a little bit more about it, their website is right here, http://auroraroguelike.com. Given the fact that the language options are English and Russian, I'm going to assume that this is a Russian developer, but I couldn't find a lot of information about it. I don't have a Twitter or something like that. So anyways, let's jump to it. In the year 2200, the Earth's resources were almost entirely exhausted, its ecology was ruined, the planet was facing the giant economy crisis. Alright, Jesse Quill, see you in a little bit. The humanity had to explore their star system in a desperate attempt to find new resources, and once again space became the new frontier. The best representatives of the human race tried to get there. The space exploring programs finally received the necessary funding from the government and the support of the entire population of Earth. It was only a matter of time before the scientists discover a way to travel faster than light. That's how the ambitious project of first space exploring spaceship was born. This project was called Aurora, in the name of the goddess of dawn. It was supposed to be a symbol of a new era in the history of the human race. It took a lot of time and resources, or recourses? That's got to be resources, to build the spaceship. However, the first journeys proved that the effort wasn't wasted. The first contact with an alien civilization, the first month of exploring other worlds, the first reproduction of a foreign technology, all these things gave the humanity a chance to solve the problems. It took months or even years for Aurora to come back from the journeys, but when it finally got home, the people of Earth always celebrated it as the most important holiday in their lives. The current journey was supposed to end about 3 months ago. However, Aurora never made it back to its home planet. Leader of the European Alliance. They won't come back. It was clear a month ago, but now it's too obvious to ignore the fact that our most ambitious project has failed. Leader of the Asian Union. Despite the fact that the first journey brought us several interesting samples, our Union bore great losses. We lost about $100 billion. You've seen the reports. There's also a decrease in the index of population happiness. There's nothing like this for 50 years already, since those events in Africa. Ah yes, as somebody who works at the statistical agency, I understand the index of population happiness well. It's the first thing we can say. I'm sorry, I really shouldn't be making fun of this dialogue. Have you seen the Aurora 2 project? If you refuse to explore space, the things might become even more complicated. We literally have no choice. Sure, we can try annexing the rest of the independent suppliers or continue sticking out to our current politics, but it will only help in the short run. However, we will suffer the consequences of this decision within 10 or 15 years. I consider that the wisest decision is to develop this project. We can find everything we need in space. All we need is look for it. You've seen the results of Aurora 1. You know I'm right. Leader of the American Alliance. There's no way we will build the spaceship in the situation at hand. There's no money in our treasure, and the resource that's got to be resources are exhausted. There are a lot of people, plain citizens and even politicians, who think that we are uselessly wasting our money on this spaceship project. Well, they can help those regions that have need in energy or food supplies. This is the part I don't quite understand of the story, is we've gone from the most important holiday when this thing comes back to 3 months away, and apparently it's a big waste of time. But I will admit, so this is a big problem for me whenever, because I obviously do a lot of stuff dialogue-wise. It's kind of hard with translation, because again, if this is not English as a first language, they've already done far better than I can do in any foreign language that I've learned. Hey, T. Clark. The one challenge is that it does make the game seem a little more low rent than it really should be if the translation isn't on top. It's maybe one thing I should say, like, hey, Phantom Klepto, thank you very much for that host. The best I can say is that I think if I encounter something like this, I should maybe I'll write something on the channel or something like that. Like if somebody would like some help in terms of translation or trying to communicate an idea, and it's just a matter of like cleaning up some strings, I'd kind of like to help out with stuff like that. Because it seems like a very simple way that a game cannot be unfairly hobbled. With people like making, so I mean, this is the problem, right? Is like I can get a laugh if I like make fun of the English, but it doesn't necessarily mean the game is any better or worse. The one thing I will say, independent of whether or not I can save all the indies by doing some proofreading or that, I would say that I'm not a fan of the fact that the dialogue comes out from the right like that. It makes it very, because like I'm going to be reading left to right, unless this is in Arabic. I'm going to be reading left to right, and while I'm trying to read the words, they're moving from the other side. So it's perfectly fine for it to scroll out like this, but I think it would be better just to have the words kind of trace along this way like they do in the other one. I'm not quite sure why they do that. It might have been just because they wanted to align it with the photo, but anyways. I'm hoping that this does not come off as me just shitting on the game, but if I'm going to be playing something for the first time, I also think I should be a little honest in terms of things that aren't quite working for me, as well as the things that do work for me. There is a way. We've got more advanced technologies than a few years ago, and we don't have to create the project from scratch. The spaceship will be smaller, but we will use all our experience from the previous project to improve this one. Thus, it will be properly prepared for its mission. But we've still got a lot of problems with finances. According to our reports, there is only one alliance that have enough money to finance the main part of the project. Obviously, they will have all rights to take the majority of income that Aurora 2 will bring, if it bring any, of course. And I think that you all know, and I think you all know about whom I'm talking about. Aha! Alright, chat. I can be the American Union. The American military are the best fighters the Earth has to offer. Please give my regards to Gunny Steiner. Advanced equipment, the soldiers get +1 HP. Military training, all crew members do +10% damage. I don't know how much combat's going to be a part of this game, so next option is the European Union. Europeans are unrivaled engineers capable of creating even the most high-tech machines extremely fast and using a minimum of resources. Advanced workshops, all engineering projects cost 20% less and take 20% less time to complete. See, this automatically to me seems like the best one. Because in the end, the advantage of advanced equipment, presumably I can get that through whatever the engineering projects will give me. And what about the Asian Union? Today, Asia is at the forefront of Earth science. Here, the best minds of humanity work tirelessly to uncover the secrets of the universe. Scientific genius, all research projects take 10% less time to complete. So presumably, unless this is supposed to be a difficulty curve as well, science is the best benefit in the game, or it has no cost. Because in this case, I can get 20% less, both in terms of cost and time, compared with science. Right. I think I'm going to go with the EU. Don't worry, Europe can handle the cost. Yeah, right. After all, the worst. Oh no, this guy's probably German. They're good for the money. After all, the worst problems can only be solved through neutrality. Even though people worked as fast as they could, it took 2 years to build a new spaceship. Finally, when the spaceship was complete, you were appointed as its commander. Your main task is to explore space, to establish contact with alien civilizations, to find new technologies and recourses. Sorry, couldn't resist. Your secondary task is to find the missing Aurora. Good luck, Command. Sorry. Good luck, Commander. Ooh, I like the music. Right. Martin Kilmovey, your direct supervisor, nods and greeting you in his office. So you're finally here. Look at the uniform they gave you. You look just like a Christmas tree. It's the dress uniform, and it's a bit too tight. Martin laughs. And some were allowed to wear the civilian clothes. Well then, he jerks his head and becomes serious. All the papers are signed, everything is ready. What's it going to be? Are you going on a real mission right now, or do you want to complete a set of test assignments first? Don't look at me like that. There's nothing wrong with getting used to your ship first, and it won't hurt to check all the systems once more. Alright, looks like we're actually on our way to the game itself, so before I go further, I know we're like 15 minutes in already. I want to take a quick second and shout out one of my hosts. I hope that she is still here. So we've got the lovely Miss Jessie Quill, my mod. She gave me a host early on. I actually think I saw Alex the Rambler in here as well. I'm just going to take a quick second. I should shout him out one way or the other, but it's a lot nicer if the person's there so they can sort of be there to... I can sort of be there to give them the proper attention. All right, looks like he's not, unfortunately. Anyways, I'll mention it. Just it's obviously you don't have a chance to like click on their name. But anyways, Jessie Quill actually did a really great thing tonight. She did a cosplay as Jill Valentine, zombified Jill Valentine. She was doing sort of a charity stream, managed to hit her private target. I don't know how the overall stream did, but she did a really great job of it. Had to deal with some nasty people, but I think for those of you who have seen her, you get to see, you know that she handles trolling and such with quite a bit more grace than I do, and so I'm not particularly concerned with, with her well-being so much as maybe the safety of the people who are trying to bring her down. Absolute gem of a human being, an absolutely wonderful woman, a really energetic caster, somebody who is capable of seemingly conversing about anything. Somebody I've gotten to know both on and off cast. I mod for her as well. She is a manager of influencer relations, so that means that when I do something like look for a game like AuroraRL, she will get me in touch with developers that she's working with who are looking for some games. Now, I didn't get this game through her, but she's one of the reasons why I like using her, and we've built up a bit of a relationship. I almost always give priority to stuff that she gives me simply because she takes the time to sort of understand the sort of stuff that I cast, and I do well. Now, obviously, she mods for me, so there's a bit of a relationship there already. But I can tell you this from having seen other casters that she's sort of given material to. She actually takes the time to find out what a cast is about and kind of forms that bridge between the caster and the content that she's working. Obviously, she's employed, but the nice thing is that she has enough relationships that she's able to get keys in the hands of people without necessarily compromising the quality. So like the people that she talks to are people who will genuinely appreciate the games, and that's a very different thing from what a lot of these manager of influencer relations, or whatever they call. I'm really bad at remembering the official title of this thing, but there are a lot of people like her, and for a lot of them it just winds up becoming giving keys to your friends, and those don't always result in the best cast, and I do feel bad for the developers because I think their games deserve a little bit better. Now again, I still independently look for stuff. I'm really happy that the devs gave me this, so I'm hoping that I can at least give you guys a good picture of what this game is about. But I did want to take a second to shout out Jess, especially on the point of her influencer relations job, because the success of people like her really is going to mean the difference between whether or not indies like this are able to find their audience or not. So, and with that in mind, Alex Rambler hosted me. It was an auto host. I did see him in here a little bit earlier, but he is a Total War streamer. So if you guys like strategic stuff like this, you can check out his YouTube channel. Is a little bit bigger than his Twitch channel, but you can check out both of his sites. The follows are free, of course, and he isn't exclusively Total War. He will do things like Battlefleet Gothic. He's done what else? Hearts of Iron. Definitely a really nice guy. Another guy I've got to meet off cast. But I think a lot of people know him for his British accent, which I know is usually a bit of a draw. So, anyways, with that in mind, enough pleasantries. Let's carry on with the game. All right. I think you're right. Getting to know the ship and her crew better wouldn't hurt. Great. Go on. The shuttle is waiting for you. You'll receive the instructions about the test assignment when you get to the ship. ... Okay, I'm ready to answer your questions regarding the objectives of your mission, should you have any. Or we could go straight to the test mission. I have some questions. Martin looks at you expectantly. Could you repeat the main points of my mission? Maybe I missed something. Martin rubs the bridge of his nose. Okay, your main task is exploring the uncharted stars and planets. The scientists have prepared some experimental projects like data collection programs for you. Look through them when you have time. Plus, everything you find in space, like anomalies, artifacts, everything unusual, collect all of that and bring it to us. Of course, don't forget that to use your ship labs to the max. But if your scientists can't handle something, it's okay. Here on Earth, we have a lot more research capabilities, so bring your findings here. I still have questions. Martin looks at you expectantly. What about the Aurora 1? A lot of people think our main task is finding and rescuing it. Martin shakes his head. Unfortunately, the probability of finding them is approaching 0. Of course, officially, we announced that we're looking for Aurora 1 as one of your tasks, but no one here seriously expects you to find it. Space is huge, and we have to find the approximate direction, and all we have is the approximate direction of their final flight and the coordinates of the first system they were going to visit. And they could be anywhere and in any form, like a bunch of debris orbiting some planet or a cloud of vapor after a reactor explosion. Basically, try to find them, but not at the expense of the main goals of the project. I still have questions. What would happen to Earth if we don't come back either? Nothing good. Project Aurora will probably be closed down. No one will risk building a third ship, and I shudder to imagine what will happen to humanity if it has no access to new technology and living space. So please try to come back. I still have questions. How will my work as a captain be graded? Every time you come back, your progress will be graded. The amount of scientific data that you have brought will be calculated. A lot of data is good, not a lot of data after a long flight is bad. Humanity cannot afford the luxury of utilizing your ship inefficiently. So if you bring back small amounts of data consistently, alas, we will have to let you go from the captain's post. Although don't worry, I'm sure you'll handle this in the best possible way. It's no accident that we picked you out of dozens of candidates. No more questions. Here's your mission. The Iowa, a box ship that was written off, is waiting for you on the orbit of Mars. Your first task is checking the ship's combat systems. Destroy that ship. Just know that to make it more fun for you, they kind of armed it. Okay, my first objective is destroying the ship in Mars's orbit. What's next? Before getting destroyed, it will deploy a device that will land on the surface. It contains a small autonomous drone. Your second objective is to triangulate its position using your ship's scanners. Deploy a landing party there, destroy the drone, and get its debris. And what do I need that trash for? You'll find a black box in the debris. Don't worry, you won't damage it unless your landing party shoots rockets at it. There's an encoded key phrase in it. The code is pretty weak. Your scientists will crack it in a couple of days. Tell me the key phrase, and that will be the end of your test. Destroy the ship, shoot down the drone, look through the debris, and decode the key phrase. Did I miss anything? Nope, you're right. For the duration of the test, you are forbidden from leaving the solar system. When we're done with the checks, you'll be free to go wherever you want. Great, I'll get to it. Welcome to AuroraRL. As the captain of this research spaceship, your main task is to discover new things in space and bringing them back to Earth. To complete the test assignment, you need to find the Iowa ship orbiting Mars. You move your ship using the arrow keys. I think that's it. That's definitely a blue-looking Mars, but... So, what interests me about this game, actually, is that there was a game... I think it was for, like, Commodore. There was a game called Starflight, which was actually the inspiration for Mass Effect. It was a very... So it did have combat elements to it, but a lot of it was building up your crew and sort of the interaction with races. It had procedurally generated planets, and it had a very heavy focus on things like research. So I'm liking what I see so far. If this game is kind of like a modern Starflight, I think I'm in for a good time. Alright, to make sure this ship is the one you need, put yourself in the same tile and press scan. You can scan ships to get additional information, and planets in order to view a map of their surface. To attack your target, use the weapons mounted on your ship using the buttons in the lower left part of the screen, or by pressing 1 through 4 on your keyboard. When you activate a weapon, its effective radius is displayed. You can cycle through the available targets using the buttons at the bottom of the screen or the arrow keys on your keyboard. Less clear about what buttons they're referring to. I'm pretty sure it's not skip turn. Oh, it might populate here. But no, because if this is supposed to be 1 through 4... I don't know, we'll find out when we do that. Okay, so scan first. This is an old decommissioned cargo ship, Space Rogue, our target practice. You can see the holes in its hull where all the working equipment was taken off it. Interesting idea, T. Clark. You should mention it to Jess when she comes in. Alright, so what I think I'm going to try and do is engage at maximum range. I don't know if there is a difference. Oh wow, I can actually go really far away. Maybe it would make sense to go into the asteroid field for cover, actually. Anyways, this is the bottom of the screen that it's referring to. Fire! Every weapon has its reloading time. To wait until it's reloaded, you can either skip a few turns using the button in the lower right of the screen, or just fly around.
Get me out of here!
So I'm curious, if I skip turn... Oh Jesus! It fires right back. We've suffered some bad damage here. You're the captain, of course, but I should have assigned someone for repairs already. Press E to view the engineering screen after closing the dialogue window. You're right, I will designate repair works ASAP. Alright. I'm liking this tutorial so far. It's actually, it's logical. It's making, it's kind of telling me, it's giving me an understanding in terms of how the game works. I want 2 points. Can I not repair anymore? Okay. Bam! To find something on the planet, you need to scan the surface. Excuse me. Some of the art style so far kind of reminds you of some computer games from the 90s. Yep, I'd say so. I mean, the same could be said for FTL, but I think it's... this sort of has its own style. So to find something on the planet, you need to scan its surface. Fly up to the planet and click the scan button, which should appear. Plot important objects, alien artifacts, and other anomalies will be marked in red on the map. Alright. Scan it. On this screen, you can see the surface of the planet your ship is orbiting and pick a destination for your landing party. Different colors mark the approximate location of important objects. Artifacts and plot important objects are red, resources are yellow, and wild animals are green. Drag the shuttle icon to your chosen destination. You cannot land on water or mountains. So, passive atmosphere, medium size, no biological activity, and it is a rock planet. So, we'll drag our... I'm actually going to drag our spaceship just in between these two things, because this will hopefully give me the plot important thing, as well as some resources. So land. My boys are ready for our first deployment, Captain. Just be sure to configure the landing party properly before we move out. Landing party configuration screen will open on first landing and can be manually called by pressing E. Do you have any suggestions about what landing party should be? Well, it depends on the tasks. All landing party members can perform all basic activities, combat, research, and excavation, but they are much more efficient at doing their own job. My Marines are best at combat, while scientists at researching artifacts. Engineers are the fastest in gathering resources. So basically, even scientists can defend themselves? Yes, but they lack the combat skill and heavy weaponry. A single Marine is roughly 3 times more efficient in combat than a civilian. Same ratio applies to other activities. Also, it is a question of honor for my guys to protect civilian members, even with their lives. So if casualties happen, Marines usually sacrifice themselves first to protect others. I see. And how many people can we take to the surface now? Currently, our landing shuttle can take 10 persons on board. In future, perhaps it can be upgraded to greater capacity. So for our unknown world, I recommend taking at least 4 Marines and an equal number of scientists and engineers. Okay, I'll take that into account. So, we'll go for the recommended 4 Marines. I actually like this division of 442 because I was looking for... Actually, you know what? Let's double down on our engineers because I'm going to be getting resources. Only one type of weapon, the assault rifle. Alright. You landed on a planet. To return to your ship, get the landing party back to the shuttle and press enter. To attack monsters, press F or the fire button. You can bring back bodies of the monsters that you kill to your ship to study them. If the atmosphere on the planet is unbreathable, or there is none at all, the landing party will spend oxygen every turn. You can replenish your oxygen on a tile with the shuttle. If there's no oxygen left, the entire landing party will die. If the atmosphere is poisonous, or there is none at all, there is a chance that a platoon member will die due to depressurization of his space suit after being wounded regardless of his health status. Okay, so I think this thing down here is, yeah, that's got to be our target. So if I hit F, oh yeah, I can... Did we... I think we just killed it. America! I'm kind of curious where this... Oh yeah, there's the oxygen. Alright, well, while we're here, let's get a little mining in. This is kind of a neat mechanic, actually. I think it's what prevents you from sort of just running all around the planet to... Oh, you know what? I think I just killed them. (14, 13, 12, 11, 10). Yay! You have a new object to study, the drone debris. You will encounter similar objects throughout the game, various artifacts, debris of alien ships, data disks, etc. Researching them will net you points that can spend on buying upgrades, and it could also unlock new objects, techs, or quests. Hello, Jesse Quill. I am very well. So T. Clark had a suggestion, which I thought was not a bad one, although I don't know if you have it. And this game is actually very similar to one that I would recommend for you, Jess, called Starflight. I also did give you a shout out, and I know you like it when I when you're there for the shout out. So I will try to give you another one a little bit later, but I've been a little slow in getting into the game. We're still into the tutorial. And it did occur to me that I set this up by saying that, you know, here you can see the first impressions of a new player. And I've been a little slow in getting started. So hopefully this is useful to the developer once I get my get my act together. All right. Sorry. Researching them will net you points that you can spend on buying upgrades. It could also unlock new objects, techs, or quests. Go to the research screen to see projects available for research and allocate scientists to work on them. All right. Now I'm a little curious what's going on with my engineers, because I thought they were supposed to be repairing, but it might take some time, so... This is the research screen. Here you can allocate scientists to projects and track their progress. New research projects will be unlocked as you find various artifacts and interesting objects in space, or they will be given to you by your Earth superiors. Special projects, cartography, and astronomy allow you to gather some scientific data through the passive study of objects in your star system. They are always available. Increase and decrease the amount of scientists working on a project by using the plus and minus buttons. Keep in mind that only free scientists, those that aren't involved in any project, may be allocated to a landing party. Alright, well, we should be cracking the code with as many scientists as we can get together. Oh, or I could have just pressed Control to max it. Okay, so I don't see any lock-in option. I'm just going to assume that close is how I set that. Let's just take a look at engineering. Well, it says I still am on my way to... Oh, I didn't assign engineers, that's why. Oh, but I'm going to want to put them on the planet, so let's... I brought 5 last time. Okay, so 4 Marines. I'm going to take 6 to the planet, so I want 4 assigned engineers there. Hello, 1-4, good to see you. Alright, that's where I went wrong. Alright, well, while we're studying, why not get ourselves some more gold? Hello? No, I don't want to go. There we go. Yeah. It's a nice soundtrack. Oh. Give me the loot! Should be bottom left next. Gordon appears on your screen. He looks a bit surprised. Captain, my colleagues have finally broken the test drone's code. It wasn't hard, it's a simple 256-bit key. Walk in the park for our servers. So you got the code phrase? Yes. Honestly, I was expecting some random combination of numbers or letters. And what was it? Out with it. How about a beer after work? What? Gordon, what are you talking about? We don't have any alcohol on board. Gordon rolls his eyes. Captain, you don't understand. That's the key phrase from the drone's memory block. How about a beer after work? Oh, that's what it is. Martin is a comedian. Alright. That's actually a clever little bit of writing. I still want to mine the hell out of the planet, so... Good 5th day in your holiday. Much sleeping, the weather is too cold for wandering around. Yeah, I'm not quite sure which holiday you're referring to, 1-4. Alright, I feel like the journal should have something about... Oh, well, let's read this anyway. I don't... The Aurora disappeared under unknown circumstances. Of course, it has to be found, but there are much more pressing matters, the energy crisis for one. To solve it, we need to find a planet suitable for colonization, not far from the solar system. A methodical check of every star system will probably take up a lot of time, so we need to hurry. The planet in question will have to be medium-sized, have a breathable atmosphere, have biological activity, and have some reserves of natural resources. To evaluate the habitability of a planet, I need to explore at least 200 tiles and naturally collect the samples of minerals and local wildlife. The last beacon. The Aurora went missing and we need to find it. All we know about its fate is that the ship was heading to 116163 when it disappeared. We have no idea what we may have to face, since Aurora, according to its reports, came in contact with a great deal of phenomena that hasn't yet been studied, including alien civilizations. Any one of them could be the reason this ship's disappeared so mysteriously. We completed the tutorial. Okay, so they gave me a simple mission to check the ship's systems. I have to get to Mars, destroy a ship called the Space Rogue, and then land on the planet, shoot down an autonomous drone, and collect its debris. In it will be a black box. I'll have to hand it over to our scientists so that they break the code and get the code phrase. I'll have to tell the phrase to Martin. Destroying the ship wasn't hard. All combat systems of the Aurora work well. Those geniuses should have been more careful when arming our mark. Somebody could have gotten hurt. Key phrase obtained. Martin is a funny guy. And yeah, actually, so I was commenting on the writing before. The last bacon is me. That is properly spelled. I should be more careful about that, actually. I understand 1-4. Oh my, it's quite a bit. Aurora 2, a brief summary. Ship class, Aurora 2. Technical characteristics. The Aurora 2 is piloted, highly maneuverable research ship. Is a piloted, highly maneuverable research ship capable of hyperjump travel into deep space. Compared to the Aurora 1, it is larger, but has less performance characteristics. I thought the dialogue said it was a smaller ship, as a consequence of having somewhat outdated engine system and bigger mass. The ship's life support systems are designed for a crew of 300, but allow for up to 2-fold short-term increase, no longer than a month. The Aurora 2 carries standard industrial class YAH modules, standard research modules of the same class, and a separate barracks area outfitted according with state-of-the-art equipment. The Aurora 2 is not designed for operation in atmospheric and gravitational systems similar to those of Earth. For planetary missions, the ship is equipped with 3 Prospector system shuttles designed for transporting personnel and equipment. Modules. The Aurora 2 compared to the Aurora 1 provides more comfortable living conditions for the crew, which was achieved through enhancing its weight and dimensional characteristics and reducing its peak acceleration. Apart from the YAH industrial and research modules, the standard package consists of 1. Family habitation module, including water and food recirculator in case of emergency, designed for providing a comfortable living standard for an average family. 2. Class A entertainment module. 3. Special issue YAH2 medical module. To conclude, it bears mentioning that Aurora 2 was constructed following the so-called Clark Directive to the letter. For more detailed information, consult full specifications of Spaceship Aurora 2. To contact the distributor, call the federal phone number 5289-845-4815-16-2342. And these are the footnotes. I think what I will do, I'm going to wait for like a break in the plot, and I'm gonna read a new page of each of the journals. So, all right. I think I have to go back to Earth for the tutorial. This is the spaceship of humanity race. It is currently friendly. Greetings. On behalf of my crew and passengers, I'm pleased to welcome the famous explorers of space. Can we assist you in any way? No thanks, we were just passing by and decided to make a courtesy visit. Alright, so I have to go to the planet. You're back. Did you get the code phrase? I did. How about a beer after work? Are you serious? Martin laughs, really content with his own joke. Absolutely. How long before you have a chance to drink with your friends in a relaxing atmosphere? You still have time. Our engineers will need a couple of days to dismantle your testers and process their data. Anyway, although they're saying that the ship's systems are functioning normally already. I guess you're right. Having one last hurrah before leaving won't hurt. Great. I'm waiting for you at the exit at 5. Okay. Your journey has begun. You can stay at the bridge and get to work on your plans, or you could pay a visit to your ship's compartments and inspect them. Yes, an inspection sounds like a good idea. Hello, Gordon. You're the head scientist, and you're in charge of research. Gordon! The ship's main lab is very light and noisy. It smells of electronics and coffee. There's a lot of people in white lab coats. Most of them have gathered around a big whiteboard. You can hear someone speaking quickly and emotionally there. As you come closer, you realize that all those people are listening to the head of laboratory, who is waving his hands, pointing at the whiteboard and explaining something. Listen for a bit. All of that is from the universally curriculum, you understand? The cores decay instantly, and we have to mention another thing. I mean, it has the same, writes down a formula on the whiteboard. 1/2, instant decay. There, same principle that alpha decay has. The logarithm of the cycle of life is proportional to z times squared times a. Well, you understand, of course, that z squared times a is what z times square a is. It's z squared times a to the power of 1/3 r of the core, and there's a to the power of 2/3. Is this what it was like talking to me a little bit earlier, Jesse Quill? Hello, Gunny Steiner. How are you doing tonight? Guys, for those of you who don't know Gunny Steiner, he is Jesse Quill's dad. So first of all, congratulations are in order because he raised an extremely special woman. Jess is a very, very dear friend of mine, as you know. It's maybe a time that I can do a nice big shout out there. She is a very gifted entertainer. If you like Gunny Steiner, if you like hanging out with him in this channel, he is actually to be found on Jesse Quill's channel as well, where he gets to watch both the trolls and the good people hang out. And in addition to the fact that I have a lot of fun in her channel, Gunny Steiner actually is a streamer himself. I believe he is the reason why Jess still has a fear of zombies to today, although I believe her mother also can take some of the blame because of her love of 28 Days Later. But of course, this would also be the reason why Jess was doing her Jill Valentine cosplay this morning. And so it's definitely an early love of gaming that he instilled, and it's one that's paid off today. It's something that certainly benefited me because being able to watch Jess, especially on days where I don't necessarily feel like God's gift to streaming or gaming or my job or anything like that, I will always wind up feeling quite a bit more relaxed, and I'll definitely feel valued every time I come into her channel. And I think the same could really be said for everybody that goes and visits her. She's definitely very special to me. She's the only person who mods for my channel, and she's somebody who gave me some of the first and best advice that I've been given on Twitch. But I would probably be mistaken to say that I'm the only person who feels deeply valued inside of Jess's channel. She's somebody who has a great empathy, a great ability to connect with an audience. And so I think a lot of people who visit there, maybe they're not having a good day, maybe they're having a great day and they just want to cap it off with a really good show. She really is a streamer for all seasons. She's a very good person and a very gifted entertainer, like I said earlier. So that's actually a recommendation of 2 streams that I think you guys can check out. You get to check out Jesse Quill, who's very well established as a streamer and again is the manager of influencers and content creators. She's freelance. But on top of that, you get to see her dad, who, again, I mentioned Resident Evil in terms of being that formative experience for Jess, but the last I saw him, he was actually playing The Walking Dead. So either one of those are really good games to watch, and I think you guys will have a lot of fun in both channels. All right. Continue listening, because I know there's nothing more exciting for a stream than quoting off this pseudo-math stuff. Thanks, Phoenix. Alright, this is the surface. That is the relationship between the Coulombic energy and the surface parameters. These, as you all know, are the fissibility parameters. And if the electron gets more energy than what it needs to break away from the surface, he waves his hands around, the scientists around him nod and whisper to each other. What is the point of our argument? I'll say again, this is elementary, kindergarten level. There, Gordon takes off his glasses and makes a face and wipes them clean with the flap of his coat and puts them back on, looks around to the people gathered around him victoriously and suddenly notices you. And you are the... stuttered, Captain! I'd still watch Gunny Steiner. And Phoenix, it's maybe worth mentioning, so in the case of Jesse Quill, it's not so much a motivation stream. One of the, I'd like to think the hallmarks of this is that a lot of casters nowadays, at least in terms of Twitch, it seems like an arms race for hyperbolic rhetoric. It's not enough to just say somebody's good anymore. They have to be the best ever. And so I sort of face an upward battle in terms of giving my recommendations for streamers. Now, obviously this is a little bit of a special occasion because, you know, it's one of the few chances I get to you know, to let a parent hear about what I think of their child's stream. But in this case, it is a very genuine recommendation. Jess is a very early follower of this stream and is actually one of the first people that I watch regularly on Twitch. And so, you know, certainly I'll go over the top in terms of my descriptions, but I definitely feel a shout out is a little bit. It's a bit more of a service to the audience if I can actually explain why a person is worth watching rather than just saying, you know, Jess sure is pretty and she talks good. I don't really think anybody's going to get a whole lot out of that. Captain, Gordon comes up to you and extends a hand for a handshake. It's so unexpected. I'm sorry. An argument about quantum physics arrived with Mr. Burkowski. Doesn't matter. Why, I mean, what is the purpose of your visit? Consider this an inspection, Gordon. Tell me about your lab. Ah, Gordon nods and strokes his goatee. The lab. Yes, the Aurora 2 is outfitted with a very good lab and staff. Can you tell me more? Well, to make a comparison, Gordon stutters more than he normally does. Either he's worried or he has problems with creative thinking. Probably the former. We have a great lab. My lab is the best lab that has ever been. Sorry. Better than a lot of the ones on Earth. We can study any samples, biological, mineral, synthetic, even the most dangerous ones. Great, what about the staff? Are you ready to work in unknown conditions? Me personally? Well, I'm the head of the lab. And that's not what you meant, is it? Of course, I can't imagine you holding a rifle, Gordon. But I can't imagine you holding a crowbar. Of course, well, the field staff is ready. They're great specialists, too, even though there isn't a single PhD among them. What? Gordon rubs the bridge of his nose. They're well-trained. Well, no, if they're lab assistants, they don't need to have PhDs, I guess. They're well-trained, Captain. They're ready for scientific work and to take care of the equipment as well as combat action. Well, let's go Gabriel Knight on this. Gordon, tell me about yourself. Well, I have a PhD in theoretical physics, Captain. I'm a certified microbiology professor. a double PhD in theoretical physics and microbiology. Worked at Lake Vostok. Gordon lists all that in a bored and distracted voice. What else can I tell you? How about how you ended up in the Aurora 2? Gordon narrows his eyes and remains silent. What is it? I'm thinking about whether I can tell you about it. Yeah, I've worked in the defense industry, Captain. Took part in some experiments with, worlds with unusual physical conditions. Parallel worlds? Really? No, that's a misnomer. They aren't parallel. Gordon tries to explain it to you using his hands, saying something about Tegmark's classifications in the Lambda CDM model. There, do you understand? The experiment consisted of 3 stages. Only 2 were implemented. Tell me more about the experiment, Gordon. Gordon shakes his head. I can't, Captain. Judging from the way he looks, he won't even talk if you torture him. Okay then, what about the 3rd stage? Cancelled. The head of the project, Gabe. Gordon's... very clever. The head of the project, Gabe. Gordon sighs. Gabe. Suddenly, it's as if a dam broke inside Gordon. He jabbers on, his speech is heated, and he sounds almost like a religious fanatic. You don't understand! No one does! It's different! A world where pi equals 4. A world that's a living cage. A world where the universe isn't 5 billion years old. Gordon. Paying absolutely no attention to you and still gesticulating wildly, Gordon runs off to his office. You'd better not bother him right now. Damn it. Mentally unstable, eccentric persona. Those geniuses. You should read his dossier. Go back to your office. Okay, I obviously I got the references from chat pointing out the the similarity to Gordon Freeman. I didn't quite appreciate the three-phase experiment until it actually hit me over the head, but that's a clever bit of writing. All right, Harry Liskowicz, ship's combat commander. He's in charge of weapons and the landing party. It's a 10-minute walk to the military base. As you walk past the barracks, you can smell the heavy stench of sweat and unwashed feet, even though the air conditioning there is good. Weird. Anyway, you don't have to go to the barracks. Harry Liskowicz's office is a bit further away, closer to the weapon power supply systems. As you find out, the office isn't very spacious. Its owner is a tall man, of that weird age some people get stuck in. He's definitely older than 40, but younger than 100. The soldier's face is covered in wrinkles. He gets up from his chair and gives you a short greeting. Captain, glad to meet you. Yes, me too. So you're here already, Henry smirks. Is this an inspection, or were you just in the neighborhood? You can consider this a sort of inspection, Liskowicz. What are your responsibilities? What military capacity do we have? Henry smirks again, but in about a second his smile disappears. I'm responsible for the entire military component of the Aurora 2, from the ship's guns to the soldiers. Only the best guns and the best people are under your command. The laser battery is state-of-the-art, capable of burning a hole through the moon. However, I am against such a reckless waste of power. That takes care of the guns. What about the troops? I told you already, the best and exceptionally trained. Be more precise. Every one of our soldiers has been through some excellent training. They really are capable of anything. Just give the order. They were capable of anything on Earth. What about extraterrestrial conditions? As long as they have the right equipment, the better soldier's equipment is, the better his fighting capabilities. By the way, there's no such thing as perfect equipment. Good. What else can you say? Like I said, your troops are capable of anything. Is he trying to imply that they'll do torture for me? He's said that like 3 times now. Be like the American troops. Your oath is to the Constitution. If I tell you to do something unsavory, you say, look, that's not in the founding document. You don't count anymore. Anyways. Doing battle, obviously, and also fixing up some vehicles should the need arise. Well, if they really have to, they can perform a preliminary analysis of gathered material. Oh wait, maybe he's trying to seduce me. Captain, my soldiers will do anything. Well, and if they have to, they can perform a preliminary analysis of gathered materials. But don't expect too much. A soldier is always a soldier. So you vouch for your men? No, he only just said that they'll do anything 3 times and that they're the best trained. Sir, yes sir. We're ready to fight whenever and wherever you want. You can count on us. I can see you know your trade. Tell me about yourself. Henry nods and becomes thoughtful. He seems a bit rattled. You can see longing and melancholy in his narrowed eyes. I've had to be in a few wars. Nicaragua, Zimbabwe, New Rhodesia, Cuba, of course. Henry smirks and jerks his head in a strange way. Those are recent conflicts. I've forgotten about all the old ones. Come on now, I'm intrigued. Henry shakes his head. War, Captain. I don't like thinking back to it all that much. War is a dirty business. Why? Maybe you'll stop liking carrying out your responsibilities in the future too? I don't like either of these dialogue options. Alright. Liskowicz responds with a smirk and a shrug. This guy smirks a lot too. I haven't gotten tired of it yet. You know, I have a routine check. I'm afraid I'm going to have to leave you. Okay then. I have to go too. Well, I mean, for what it's worth, Phoenix, the United States has actually elected a Trump candidate before. Sarah France, head engineer. She is in charge of the ship's non-combat systems production and maintenance. Yeah, I was expecting it too, T. Clark. For those of you who want... Actually, I think Politico magazine might have had an article on this, but if you want a historical precedent for Trump, you want to look at Zachary Taylor. I think he used to be a general. He's definitely a soldier of some kind. He was very celebrated, sort of well-regarded military man. And there was a party at the time. It doesn't exist anymore, which is gonna kind of tell you where the story goes. Basically, he joined up the Whig Party, kind of big populist swell. He got into the position. He died actually pretty quickly in. But sort of the furor caused by this popular figure sort of getting elected, it's kind of considered to be one of the reasons why the Whig Party fell apart. I have no idea whether or not you can draw a line from that to the Republican Party, but yeah, I'd actually maybe recommend taking a look at the Politico article on it. Guy's name was Zachary Taylor, and under his... So it wasn't a complete failure, his presidency, but he is sort of considered to have underappreciated or underserved the tensions that ultimately resulted in the American Civil War. But again, I'm Canadian, so I guess I'm not allowed to talk about other countries' internal affairs. Alright, finding Sarah France, the ship's head engineer, isn't an easy task. Her office is on the lower decks of the Aurora 2. You have to cover a lot of ground before finding out that Sarah isn't there. You only find a half hour later at Hyperspace Module 4, where she's busy calibrating the focusing array. The buzzing of the servo mechanisms that rotate the lenses is killing your ears. The whining of the mechanisms is accompanied by the screeching of the buffer and the beeping of the fault detectors. Your nostrils are assaulted by the smell of grease. Sarah! Officer France! You had to yell, but she heard you. Sarah screams something too, but to one of the engineers working nearby, not to you. Garrus, go on without me! And only then does she walk up to you. You leave the module. Hello, Cap. I'm glad to see you, even though you distracted me. I'm sorry She lifts her hands up, inviting you to take a look at her dirty overalls with gloves dripping sticky oil. Well, you get it. Is this a social or a business visit? Business, of course. Consider this getting to know the ship, and of course her crew. Oh, in that case, let's go to my office. I mean, we can't talk in the hallway, can we? She takes off her gloves and throws them into a bin for single-use equipment. She moves elegantly. Her thin figure is a perfect fit for narrow maintenance hallways. I don't even know what to ask you. What should I know about my ship? You? She turns around and smiles. Her face is cute, even though you wouldn't call her conventionally beautiful. Take her slightly crooked nose. It's definitely been broken. What? Be professional, Captain! Well, you know, you don't really need to know anything about my neck of the woods. The hypersystems are working all right. We were just calibrating them. The gun batteries have been tested, and they're now on standby. My staff is in perfect shape and ready to serve. I'd like to listen about the guns too, if you know what I mean. Sorry, the hypersystems? Yeah, they hypersystems. Yeah, they hypersystems. The hypersystems. Sarah looks at you with narrowed eyes. Basically, it's the thing I was calibrating when you distracted me. When the time comes, it does a wobbla bobbla doo. Sarah waves her hands around and makes a wobbla dobbla doo sound with a creepy voice. Oh, okay, in that case, wobbla dobbla doo. And then our ship can go to deep space. By the way, it can only do it at the system's borders, where the star's gravity is its weakest. That's a great explanation. Also probably explains why I'm gonna have to go to the edge of the map. I wanted to become a teacher, but life turned out differently. I'd like to listen about the guns. The best thing to tell you, really. We have a laser. The laser's good, the best of what they can do on Earth. I don't know what we might have to go up against, but we'll give them a decent fight. Let's talk about your staff. What can your people do? My people? You're the captain. They're your people. Sarah smiles. Your people can fix things. Or not. Basically, the engineering staff is responsible for the ship's normal operations, and for the technical aspect of planetary explorations. Procuring samples and all that. Should anything happen, they can fight against the enemy, but you're better off letting the soldiers deal with that, of course. You know, I get a gigantic grin every time I imagine our Garrus with a sniper rifle. Garrus! With a gun! What's wrong with Garrus? He likes cats, and he's very quiet. Never mind. So I get the Garrus reference, I'm just not sure if Sarah's supposed to be a Mass Effect reference. Okay, I get the picture. Sarah, tell me about yourself. Huh? That was unexpected. You can, come in. You've just gotten to her office, and Sarah opens the door. The office is medium-sized. There is a flag of Israel hanging from the wall. Directly below it is a photograph of a big family. The family is really big. You can't even find Sarah among the 11 children. Otherwise, nothing tells you that the office belongs to a woman. What are you looking at, Captain? I see you're from Israel. Yep, Sarah nods. You can clearly hear pride in her voice. One of the very last independent states on the planet. And by the dependent ones, you obviously mean the 3 unions. Sarah looks at her shoes and blushes. Well, that's not what I wanted to say. I just like feeling like someone in particular, not another screw in the huge mechanism. You had a big family. Dad, Mom, 5 brothers and 5 sisters. I'm the 6th. Well, have you found me yet? Maybe you should look for some distinguishing mark. Like a broken nose? You're very observant, Cap. Sarah shakes her cat head. No, I broke my nose in the army. I fell asleep atop some armor and fell down. The army? I knew even girls served in Israel, but... She shrugs indifferently in response, as if that's a bad thing. How did you end up on the Aurora, Sarah? Oh. Suddenly Sarah adopts a whining, almost childish tone and starts to jabber. Cap, I don't like talking about that. The army, the university, the Academy of Sciences, a bunch of patents for the MOD, and here I am. All you have to know is that I'm a great engineer. If you want details, take a look at my dossier. Too bad, I'd like to hear about it. How about some other time? Perhaps over drinks. Nothing. You know, I have to go. I've got some things to do. So soon? Too bad. I wanted to discuss something, but... Sarah looks disappointed. But the captain is very busy, of course. You just expelled me. Okay, what's wrong? Well, I'm not happy with the standard officer's ration. The ration makes me... She looks embarrassed. She blushes. Well, it makes my stomach ache. There. And they refuse to change the ration without your approval. They're saying that I'm asking for food from the special stock. They're probably just being lazy. Like, if the medics let it pass, it means there's nothing serious. It'll do. I'll be a professional, Captain, and not invite her over for dinner. Alright, Officer Franz, I will deal with this complaint. Good luck. Okay. Let's get out of here. All right. So I don't know if there is a... I don't know if there's any kind of fuel mechanic in this game or not. I also don't quite know what the green outlines mean. So this is where the last ship went missing. The other thing I could try is going... I mean, actually, what I think I'm tempted to do here is before going... Well, I mean, it's so close. So maybe I'll go to the Nuskan system and... Nah, okay. I'll head here. I'll kind of head to these areas. I want to do at least one sort of yellowish sun, just because it'll probably be... that's probably most likely to find a planet that we can use. Gordon wants to talk to you. He seems worried. Commander, it's calm down and explain everything. He's really trying to calm down, but fails in it. The spaceship over there, Commander. It looks like a tree. What do you mean like a tree? I mean it's a tree. The entire spaceship is a giant tree. What do you mean? Tell me more. The spaceship, according to our scanners, it is alive. It is the flying tree. It has leaves and flowers and fruits, and even photosynthesis. According to my scanners, you're drunk. Gordon seems to be offended. Okay, calm down. The commander of the Aurora 1 has reported something really similar, but I didn't believe his words. We should reach out to them, but we must be careful. Over. This is the spaceship of the Gardener's race. It is currently friendly. Before you is a creature. It looks surprisingly human-like and reminds you of more of a fairy tale character than an alien. You can see it yourself, can't you? A pair of eyes glows in the darkness under its hat. Human eyes don't glow like that. It's time to turn on the device from the Aurora 1 and start talking. Is this thing on? It is so. The creature's voice is unusual. You can hear wooden sounds in it, strange rattling clangs. We, Gardener. Gardeners. Call us that. We greet you. On behalf of Earth and all of humanity, we are humans. Our ship is the Aurora 2. Something that sounds like mocking. I know who you are. A long time ago, 1 year ago, more, we saw a ship like yours, the Aurora 1. We gave them the ability to talk to everyone, and it was not in vain. You talk to me, and we understand each other. Aurora 1? You came into contact with the Aurora 1? It is so. Aurora. 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 Ha ha ha. I like saying that word. Aurora. 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 In that case, I'll ask you a question, a very important one. Can you tell me where the Aurora 1 is right now? I knew you would ask that. No, it is not in my power. Why not? The Aurora 1 has its own path, and you have yours. I repeat, it is very important for all of my people. We cannot El Canoe, thank you very much for that host, my friend. And because I can hear the sound of Clockwork Orange, it means that El Canoe, that was a manual host from El Canoe. So, hey, there you are, my friend. I don't know if Jess is still around, but I'll definitely give you a proper shout out in a minute if it's not in there. But guys, El Canoe is a French streamer. He's actually washed up on the shores of North America. He's a really, really friendly guy. I originally watched him because I was looking for Satellite Rain streams to decide whether or not the game was good. And nope, you're getting the shout out. Anyways, all of the English streams sucked. So I checked out... I decided, because I wanted to get better at English anyway, at French anyway, I thought I would maybe check out some of the French streamers, and by that pure happenstance, I got to watch El Canoe stream and saw a guy who I think is more entertaining than a lot of English casters that I've watched. He is an absolutely outstanding caster. He's got a wicked sense of humor. He's got a really great community around him. It is he is a French caster, as I said, and the community is primarily French speaking. He will respond to you in English, but keep in mind, right, there's a lot of English casts on Twitch, and I think it's very good that there are very high quality streamers in people's native language to enjoy. So with that in mind, he's a really friendly guy, and he's a lot of fun to hang out with, as you'll find out inside of the channel. But the reason I'm recommending him for you is that even if you don't speak French, he is probably one of the most entertaining streamers that I think you guys can watch. He is, like I said, a wonderful sense of humor, and it's, as I said, I made the comparison with Jacques Tati. You don't necessarily need to know the language to see that it's funny. He's got a great physical presence on the camera, as well as his way with words. He also, as I sort of mentioned with, or implied through the mention of the Satellite Rain reference, I have wound up seeing a lot of games that I either wouldn't have been exposed to, or, you know, I sort of gained an appreciation for some things that I might have overlooked. And that's, I think, one of the strongest recommendations I can make for El Canoe's channel is, like, let's say you were the most joyless human being in the world and you found nothing funny. You should go to El Canoe's channel just so you can find out what's fun to play. Because I really think he's probably the most consistent in terms of finding stuff that's just been a lot of fun to watch and a lot of fun to play. And it's actually very hard not to just, like, watch him play stuff and want to just, like, you know, put it on cast myself. So definitely strongly recommend it. Either click on his name and hit the follow button, or you can follow that link that came up through Nightbot. But definitely an absolutely outstanding caster. All right. And actually, so El Canoe, if you're interested, this game is AuroraRL. I believe it's by a Russian developer, but I was given a code for this one. It's interesting. If you ever played the old game Starflight, I'm getting a little bit of a sense of that. I'm not too far in the game because I talk too much, but I also wanted to go through the lore. It's obviously a game that's still, like, you can tell it's still in development, but I'm intrigued. I think this is a lot of promise. Anyways, we cannot. Different ships have different paths, but you can trust me. The creature's eyes flash. No, it really does. It looks as if two flashlights got turned on in the dark gap below the hat. You will definitely meet. Paths? Are you talking about roads? What do you mean? Paths, lots of them. We're all changed by the paths we choose. You don't want to accidentally change after setting out down someone else's road, do you? It's what makes us different. We're perfectly aware of the borders between our paths and the others. I don't understand. What do you want to tell me? What do I do to find the Aurora? He who is strong and intelligent will find the path, or he will lay it. I've laid a few paths in my time, if you know what I mean, chat. How you doing, Elpo? Who are you? I told you, we are the gardeners. Look around. Is it not beautiful? It is the garden. It is not ours, nor is it yours. He stutters. It looks weird. We just tend to it, and we can see what will happen to the plants. You can see what will happen to them? Are you trying to say that you can see the future? There is no future. Everything moves back and forth in circles. You will understand this, but not now. But you will. Yeah, why not? Okay, right. You want us to follow our own path, but you can't point us to it. We cannot. Different ships have different paths, but you can trust me. The creature's eyes... Okay, we've already done that. Okay, I don't have time for this. If you contact the Aurora One, you probably know why humans have gone to outer space. Yes, you are the people of a dying planet. You need contact. You need help. You need resources. Can you help us with that? Resources? Look around and take them from wherever you want. This garden is endless, and it is getting bigger every second. You do not need our help. You need the Klisks. Who? Klisks. Their station is here. Look for it. That will be what starts it all. I don't understand. What will it start? The gardener's eyes flash, back and forth, and then in circles. You will understand. Until next time, human captain. It will not be soon. So I'm thinking... it's no use he disconnected. Damn, that was weird. First contact is first contact. I'm thinking this might be a reference to the fact this is a roguelike game, so I'm going to be repeating this this experience each time. I thought my ship just blew up there. Captain, have you seen that? Their ship just disappeared. This doesn't look like any technology of travel we know about. Yes, it doesn't look like an ordinary hyperspace jump. It would be impossible to make it so close to the star, or at least require impossibly tremendous amounts of energy. Is that a scientific term there, Gordon? Well, I guess we should be very polite with these guys from now on. Alright. We'll explore each planet. Alright, so it's an ice planet, doesn't really give us a whole lot, but let's... you know what, I'm just going to go over each... I'm going to go over each resource so I can get this stuff. Let's do a little more even composition of engineers and scientists because we're on a new planet, so... So, unlike Starflight, it seems like oxygen is sort of the fuel for that keeps you from going a little too far away. All right. I don't know if there's any like time penalty for doing stuff like this, but I think it's actually not a bad idea to make the most of this this resource by doing a little exploration. Especially if we wind up on something like a potentially habitable planet that's going to go towards our 100 tiles. So one thing I'll mention from a gameplay standpoint, I'm not entirely sure why it's necessary for me to use two buttons to kind of go between these menus. So each time I can't just do land because it's going to take me to the same spot that I put the ship down. It seems like it would be a little easier if I could just click the button and it would either directly take me here, like take me to the option to go through and then pick land. But I don't know, that's maybe I'm just being whiny. Again, here I'm just trying to make the most of my oxygen to look around. I hope I don't kill my crew by mistake. Yeah, we're fine. So yeah, if I do land, I'm going to wind up in the exact same spot again. So here I'm just going to click scan and... No, that was close. I'm not that far away from my ship, so I'll just try to get a little movement. Alright, and last little bit of exploration. Again, I don't really think I get anything by doing this, but seeing as there doesn't seem to be a cost right now, other than, you know, if I accidentally kill my crew. Yeah, I've got some territory scanned. There's nothing else for me to take here, so. Quick out-of-topic question for you. You say I have Skyshine's Bedlime. Reviews are super negative on stream. Is it really that bad? It's really cheap at the moment, so you're tempted. So El Canoe, the best I can say is that it is, I I've not played a lot. I've watched a lot more than I've played. It is, and it's one that I was given for free. So Tony Loran sort of wound up hooked up with a key, and I won it in one of the giveaways that she did. So I didn't pay for that. It is based on the Banner Sagas engine. So if you liked the turn-based combat style of Banner Saga, then you might find something worthwhile in Skyshine Bedlam. I'm actually kind of interested. Let me just take a quick look and see why people are complaining about it on Steam. I'm very hesitant to recommend it just simply because I don't know a lot about the game, El Canu. But I am very interested in seeing why people dislike it. Oh wow, it's just $2. Okay, the most helpful reviews that are negative. At this time, I would advise most people to stay away from the game till it is balanced. The game starts out fun and enjoyable, but once you have a threat level higher than 50, you are looking at a mad rush to hope you don't get RNG'd to insanity. The game will throw you 7 to 8 AI to beat on an easy side mission area. Then you will have 3 AI on a main mission point. The game balance is bad. You get 4 slots to use for your team. Okay, so I think I know what's going on here. Yeah, so I'm in a bad spot to recommend this because I've seen individual bits of conflict in the game which actually looked quite fun. And the complaints that seem to be coming up are specifically about how the game plays sort of at the macro level, how the things that sort of join through these individual combat experiences. That seems to be the bigger complaint that people have about it. I will note that Metacritic gives it a 67 out of 100, which is not a score to be proud of at all, but it's definitely not as negative as what the individual players are saying. So it's probably not as bad as what the reviews are saying, by virtue of the fact that I know Chaos Reborn had a lot of negative reviews because people didn't like the RNG, and I thought that was very unfair to that game. But given the fact that people are complaining about sort of the longer term things for the game, I'm thinking there may have been some balance issues that never wound up fixed. So the other thing you could do, of course, is you could try, if I've never personally used the, oh no, that's not true actually. I've done one, I have done one refund actually. So the other thing that you could do, of course, would be try it, see if you like it in the first 2 hours and return it if you don't. But the other thing I can try and do is cast it. I'm not going to cast it tonight because I do sort of need to do AuroraRL. But I noticed that it's on sale until November 1st, so if you'd like, I can give it a shot. Alright, this is basically our destination, but what I'm going to do first is go through the other planets and fly directly into the sun. Alright, so it's an aggressive atmosphere, not good for us. It does have biological activity, so this is not a habitable planet. And chance of tornado. Alright. I think I'm going to keep the same composition. Yeah, no problem, El Canu. I mean, I'm sorry I couldn't be more helpful. Oops. Let's try that again. Give me the loot. Alright, and I'd love to know what you think of it, El Canu. I'm a little interested myself. Alright, hopefully this isn't poisonous. Or maybe these are the tornadoes. Alright. I'm still just gonna go for the resources. At least we show up with goods. Are you friendly? Well, we don't get an option to... We don't get an option to interact. Oh god. So yeah, that thing's gonna try and kill us. Oh god. Okay, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna move away. We're gonna open fire. So, this seems like the cheesiest strategy in the world, and yet I don't see how the game is gonna stop me from doing it. Unknown alien corpse killed. Good to know. Alright. I think we can probably research that. Oh god, we can do a lot of research actually. Okay. Let's do one in cartography, one on this new alien, and one on the star exploration. Actually, we're bringing 3, so I can allocate 7. Anything we can do engineering-wise? We could craft med packs, or we could craft oxygen cylinders, neither of which I really need right now. Ah, so that's the catch. Engineering just is not that, excuse me, not that useful. Alright. Bring it, aliens. Where are you? Aha! I'm so glad we killed the alien corpse again. I kinda wish there was a peaceful way of studying the wildlife, but I'm not gonna complain. Alright. This is a spaceship of the Klisk race. It is currently friendly. On a video screen, you see a creature. You can't understand its emotions, though it doesn't seem to be aggressive. You, who are you? We're from Earth. We're representatives of the human race. This is our first contact with your race. Good. The creature clicks weirdly. Klisks. We are Klisks. It's nice to see another soul, friend. You're the second ones we've met. We were found by gardeners about a week ago. The Klisk twitches. At least it looked like. The Klisk clicks away like an animal. Have they told you the information? Have they? What kind of information? No, we didn't have any deals. We had a strange conversation. Gardeners told us to contact you. They said it'd make connection with other civilizations easier. Kinda strange. Gardeners make a deal with us, but they didn't do it with you. What deal? Doesn't matter. Clicks again. They were right. If you want to connect other races, you go to Klisks. Klisks are the best dealers in the whole cluster. Klisks, tell me about your race. Klisks, believe me, the translation of the word will explain nothing. My nation has been living and trading since the beginning of time. The Trading Codex leads us. The Trading Codex? Yes. There we can find knowledge about the right value of and all... the right value of all and about the beneficial exchange. Klisks follow the Codex, and it shows Klisks the right way to peace and prosperity. Wait, so the Trading Codex is your religion? No! The Klisk clicks again, but now the clicks are more frequent. Klisks left it behind. The Trading Codex is something different, As I said before, there is knowledge about the right value of all and about the beneficial exchange. Fine, not a religion, but a philosophy of life. Anyway, it seems to be strange. Well, you know what? They're just reading Adam Smith, or the collected works of Andrew Ryan. You're not a Klisk, you can't understand it. Okay, emos. You're in a better position to judge. Doesn't matter, clicks again. There, okay, we've already done that. What are you selling? Anything that can bring profit. Useful minerals, planets, everything is a pretty loose concept. Slowing, drawing clicks. Seems like laughter. No, we trade everything, but such useless things. Maybe it will surprise you, but cluster is infinite. It extends every second. Everybody will be satisfied with planets and resources. It would be a foolish thing to trade. So even here, the Big Bang Theory is popular. Good. Anyway, what are you selling? The most valuable thing is knowledge, information. Cluster is infinite and undiscovered. Klisks and Borks and Zorzans and even rogues want to know about everything around them. The more detailed information is, the higher the price. You'll have almost nothing for a new systems map, but you'll have a lot for a full scan of all planets and collecting their genetical geological examples. Well, and what? Is it only the information? What else do you sell? Don't even know. Maybe some kind of repair details? Medical supplies? Clicks again, seems like a laughter. You're funny. Sure, we have everything travelers might ever need. I thought you might want something unusual. Sorry, it's all new for me. So you trade information. Is it the only thing you sell? There are more, some unusual things. They aren't similar to each other. It might be traces of some lost civilizations, or maybe it's some rare resources. We don't really know. All worthful things will find their buyers. Good. Who are Borks, Zorzans, rogues? Information costs credits. Anyway, the general information is free. You're talking about the second type of race, Borks. They are aggressive and dumb, yet not all of them. If someone attacks without any obvious reason, it is a Bork. Rogues. Years ago they had their own planet, but they left it. I don't know the details, but it was far, far away, ages ago. Nowadays their motherland is a conglomerate of giant motherships. Earlier rogues provided us with all the information we needed, because they're space nomads and they constantly explore it. However, recently, he says a word, an interpreter explains it like 50 years ago. They have reduced their activity. It's bad for us. Yeah, I agree, Jesse Quill. It's, I look at the Steam reviews and I've written some I try to be, like, as helpful as I can on Steam reviews, but when I actually think about the number of times I made a purchasing decision based on a Steam review, I just think the system's very bad. I think it's undervalued some games that I really enjoyed, and I think it's very prone to hype for the things that have already got a little bit of an audience. And yes, T. Clark, I got to play a little bit of it, and I don't know if maybe I just wasn't... I don't know if I wasn't ready for the tutorial or not, but it was a little confusing in one part, so I never quite got back to it, but I will check it out another time when I'm a little less swamped in terms of gaming stuff. Nothing. Zorzans are young. They think they are an empire and they're aggressive. They're like Borks, but a bit more civilized. They haven't understood yet that there is a place for everybody in Cluster. They will understand it eventually. Do races divide into types? You mentioned that Borks are a second type. What did you mean? There are 5 types of races. They're divided by several factors. Biological, psychological, I don't think that's how you spell psychological, behavioral. It's not really important. An important point is that different types of races are really very different. A second type race can't come into contact with a third type race due to some physical reasons and mutual misunderstanding. Klisks can establish such contact, and it comes at a price, a very high price. What kind of a transaction with the gardeners did you talk about? They are strange creatures. The only thing I want is to understand them better. Fast clicks, unregulated rhythm. Seemingly he's anxious. Is something wrong? Is it a private information? No, we've just figured something out about gardeners. What's that? The information costs credits. Codex doesn't allow to give information for free. As for this new information, it is forbidden to share even for credits. For now. I got your point. In such case, I have a question for you. I was told to get in touch with the nearest developed civilizations. I think your help would be very useful. Fast rhythmic clicks. A bargain! A bargain! It is good. Codex says about a deal, but a deal might not happen. Okay, so one thing I'm going to say, I really like reading, but I'm not really sure I've gotten a lot of information out of this exchange, and it feels like it's been going on for a while. Codex says about a deal, but a deal might not happen. If you need the coordinates of capital planets, you can get them for free. God will gesture. Clicks are hasty, gradually slowing down. Furthermore, I'll provide you with information that will not only help you establish diplomatic contact, but will give an opportunity to gain a benefit for your civilization. That is the deal. You will have to pay. What's the price? You may pay with credits. 7 credits for information about any race, even Klisks. But I guess you have no money for that. If I'm right, we can exchange information about your civilization for our information about any race. We believe it is an even trade. However, if you have money, we will be glad to have cash payment. Alright, have a really good one, Elkanu. We'll see you next time. I'd love to know what you think of Skyshine Bedlam, and perhaps even more importantly, I hope life is calming down for you a little bit. I hope you've either found a house, or, well, a home. It doesn't have to be a house. I hope you found a slightly more permanent place to stay, and that, you know, you're enjoying your time at in North America. I hope your family's enjoying it too. Excellent, Elganu. And yes, I know. I know you need to wait for your computer, but I'm definitely looking forward to your return, and I hope there's a few people who are following you and get to enjoy that as well. Information for information. What do you want to know about my race? It depends on what you want to give. You can give just some basic information about you and your nation. It will be enough to make an exchange. What will I get if my information is more detailed? Depends on quality and quantity. You will have a nice bonus for a full biological report, plus a good historical background. It's hard to say exactly now, you know. Perhaps I'm satisfied, sure. In any case, I will give an order to open the dock. Welcome to the trade station, the human commander. Thank you for the hospitality. Over. Okay, so that was all just to establish contact? Want to trade. Oh, 3.3. I was like, wow, okay, that gives us a lot. I Yeah, I'm not ready to sell that. All right, I think actually, let's try interacting one more time. I want to talk about, nope. Sure, you'll find all the information in the folder. What information package do you want to receive for this? I'm tempted for the rogues, the Klisks, or the gardeners. Let's go with the gardeners. They don't have any diplomatic relationships with other races, so there's almost no information about them. You will have to choose something else. Alright. Then we will go with the... Let's go with the Klisks. That's a good decision. I'll send the information to your computer. What should we do with your bonus? Give me one more information package. Let's say the rogues. Kodos tells us that the good trade makes us better, whilst bad one brings harm to both of us. Good luck, the human commander. I'll order to reopen the airlock doors for you. Alright. Wait a minute. I probably shouldn't be, I shouldn't be spreading myself so thin on this, but actually what we're going to do, I'm also going to, I'm going to appoint my full staff, and then when I go to land, I'll just, reduce my coverage. Okay. I think we'll look at this trio here. Gordon calling. Captain, our sensors detect an artificial object in this star system. What kind of object? Looks like spaceship debris. We can probably find something useful there. Okay, let's take a look when we have spare time. Like now. Finished studying materials about an alien race. A short summary was added to the codex. Okay, so let's just take a look at what's going on. So we've got more scientists left, I believe. Yes. Study of the data provided by a Klisk trader about the rogues race. Even though that was the Klisks, we got nothing. Nothing. We were bamboozled. Oh no, here it is. Oh god. Okay. Homeworld. Kliskaliska. Note this is the most accurate Latin transcription of the name. The Klisks themselves prefer to call their planet Kliskada or just Klisk. Coordinates 86-110, brief historical and biological summary. The Klisks have not had an opportunity to get battle-hardened by ways of serious conflict. There are a few predators on Kliskada, and the climate there is mild. The Klisks never had big conflict even in the multi-state era. Their planet is rather remarkable. Most of it is covered with a desert, and despite the mild climate and underground waterways with fresh water, it is hard to understand how creatures similar to the Klisks could have evolved on it. Kliskada's artificial moon is also worth mentioning. It is a giant, even by planetary standards, space station. It functions as a custom office, a hotel, and an apartment office for the elite, and contains numerous shopping malls. The station is the apex of the Klisk's engineering and scientific talent. Kliskada has no natural moons. The Klisks are a typical gastropoda and have a pair of frontal limbs as a result of the evolutionary process. However, those limbs are not very developed because the Klisk spine is exceptionally weak. One more thing that separates the Klisks from the rest of the gastropoda is a developed eye bulb, which they put to good use. It is the Klisk's physical weakness that explains their passion for transdevelopment, and physical description of a typical Klisk individual. a length of 180 to 200 centimeters, a height of 100 to 120 centimeters. Body color varies from dark green to so-called frog bottom color, i.e. grayish yellow. Notes: a Klisk without an anti-grav device is a rather nasty creature, since it utilizes slime for smoother gliding when it moves. The so-called antennae on the Klisk's heads have nothing to do with telepathy or other pseudoscientific fairy tales. They are I know what this word is, I just can't pronounce it correctly. I think it's Stendida? I'm really bad at even when I was in high school biology, I couldn't pronounce that. The Klisks are a peaceful race, and their historical development has happened without conflict. Hello, Mind God. Good to see you again. This is why the Klisks' trade and development traditions were the most developed in the ancient in the known galaxy. It is because of that the Klisks are considered a race of intergalactic merchants and diplomats, and they are often contracted for talks by parties who cannot come into direct contact, be it due to simply being enemies or due to being creatures that cannot even see each other. The Klisk culture is pretty diverse, but in order to develop a working relationship with them, it is highly advisable that you study the Code of Commerce, which the Klisks regard as something between a religious text and a regular collection of rules and advice. The Code is the main source of most cultural quirks for the Klisks, since any operation, business or otherwise, by this nation is carried out following the Code to the letter. Pretty often, these natural-born merchants will sacrifice their profits because of this, which defies all logical explanation. Their form of government is a corporatocracy. The planet is ruled by a conglomerate of corporations, which, for this culture, is business as usual. There are not too many things you have to take into account when talking to the Klisks, and the most important one is the Code. Someone who is rational and able to comprehend its logic, or at least use it for his own profit, will gain the friendship and respect of this race. Tanida? So I just don't pronounce the C at all? Oh, wait a minute, I get it. So that's where Tanida is supposed to be, like antenna. Alright. Scan the debris. Cloud of debris left from a destroyed ship can contain something valuable. It's a lot of planets. Hey, it's one of the aliens we're researching. Oh no, hang on. The research is done. It says the short summary is in the codex. I know it won't be short. The Rouges. Home planet unknown. Species original autonym unknown. Currently, the Rogues inhabit several giant motherships, which house most of the species. Main mothership coordinates 13174. Brief historical and biological summary. No one knows what happened to the Rogues' home planet. It is only known that it was destroyed. Destroyed is the key word. This is the only thing we know for sure. The fact that space has become the Rogues' new home is no less remarkable. After that, the Rogues got the fame of being, well, rogues in the intergalactic society. A lot of blind spots have disappeared from the map of the galaxy thanks to these tireless wanderers. But after from 800 to 100 years, the Rogues became somewhat isolated and stopped providing their services as explorers. This coincided with a new religion getting more and more popular in their society, which was quickly adopted by most of the population in a very short period of time. Although individual Rogues still carrying on exploring activities. The Rogues are a humanoid race, never taller than 180 centimeters, scrawny, with greyish-grained skin. Their frontal limbs, arms, are precisely analogous to those of humans, except for the hands. Instead of 5 fingers, the Rogues have 3, all of them long, flexible, and sensitive, obviously having become like that artificially. This is corroborated by the Rogues' practice of contacting their technology directly. Physical description of a typical Rogue individual. Height 160 to 180 centimeters, weight 45 to 55 kilograms, large head, black irises, a sync pupil of a dim color, possible false eyelid, culture and other peculiarities. It is hard to say whether what the Rogues were like before the advent of the new religion that is extremely popular in their society. Now their entire way of life is constructed around it. The religion is hard to understand, but it is possible that it is based on accepting the mortality of everything. And the suns will fade and the quasars will shine no more, because he will come. And like did our planet, all will suffer the same fate at his hand. It is possible that he is a metaphor for the death of the universe and the disintegration of matter, but this interpretation is imprecise by default. Their form of government is theocratic, with power concentrated in the hands of the 5 patriarchs. It is hard to say what one should emphasize during diplomatic contact with this race, as they have changed radically. The only thing that is obvious is that one should start with their religion, adapting to it, but staying oneself and keeping one's identity. Okay. I think we'll start with the moon. So, small planet, no biological activity, and it's a rock, so no point. Alright, well, a few resources. Guess I'll take more engineers. I should have better prepared by taking some of my scientists out, but it's fine. I'll put them to work. We might as well get the most we can out of the map. So I'm gonna basically head out to 50 units, or the closest I can get. It's a small planet. Alright, I really hope I don't run out. There we go. Let's get out of here. The ship just had a particularly violent bump. You should call Sarah. There she is. She looks embarrassed. What the hell was that? Cap, it's nothing. No big deal. You know we have an automatic evasion system for dodging various space objects, right? Space trash, meteorites. I know. Why did you bring that up? Well, we don't have it anymore. Sarah corrects herself, probably after seeing the look on your face. Temporarily, Cap. Honest. We hit a particularly dense asteroid stream and something happened to the system. Sarah grimaces and clicks her tongue. Something crashed. I don't know why, we have to change it. We need somebody to lead the ship through the asteroid stream. Wait, you want me to turn on manual handling? That's right. Uh-huh. Sarah nods. The main system and its backup are both out of commission. I can activate the third backup system, but it's not powerful enough for this stream. No one could have foreseen both the main systems failing when there's so many damn rocks. The margin of error is 25%, Cap. 1 in 4 meteorites will hit us. Oh, wow. We've got direct access to command via the captain's control panel. Are you gonna have a go?
Assuming direct control.
Of course I'm taking the helm. Use the control keys to move the ship, and press space to shoot. Excellent. Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! I keep doing dumb moves. I'm sort of curious how long this goes for. Alright, not bad timing actually. It's finally over, there's Sarah. She looks embarrassed again. So how did this happen? Well, you see... Sarah? Soda. One of the junior technicians decided to have his lunch at the workstation. He spilled his soda all over the junction box. Throw him in the brig! Or punish him some other way. We almost died because of him just now. Already done, Cap. Already done. Sarah smiles. Although we had to resuscitate him first. You know, he was smoking, and his ears were charred. Sarah scoffs. Weird. His ears were charred. Why? Is he alive at least? How could I have thrown a dead man into the brig? No, he's more or less okay. He's already rubbed all the ointments they needed onto his ears and bandaged him. It won't get in the way of his punishment. Great then, over and out, Franz. Good thing it ended like it did. Yes, with punishment. Alright. Actually, you know what? I think I get a free repair if I do it at Earth. So let's test our fate. All right, lots of stuff to pick up. So Aurora 2, come in. This is landing party. Come in. Aurora 2 listening? Go ahead. Captain, sir, there's no life on this planet. Not on the surface, not below it, but the scanners have gone haywire. Captain, it seems that they react to stones that way. Oh, I didn't read the dialogue. Sir, yes, sir, we're registering some kind of alpha waves and biorhythms from some rocks. What do we do, Captain? Do we bring one of the rocks on board? It's weird. I have to contact the science department. Wait, Gordon, can you hear me? Captain! Gordon looks a bit unkempt. The collar of his shirt is covered in... Is that mustard? I have a small problem with this planet, and you also have some mustard on your collar. It's not mustard, it's agar. Gordon snorts and waves it off. What's the problem, sir? Stones. The soldiers say scanners register their brainwaves and biorhythms. Looks like our ship scanner clocked them too. A sapient? Live rocks, Captain? Looks like it. We need to make a choice. Either we bring one of the rocks on board for analysis or not. Gordon opens his mouth to answer, but cuts himself off. If they're alive, that's one thing. What if they're sentient? That's another thing entirely. A very complicated question, Captain. Do we dare taking a sentient being from its home planet without asking? He rubs the bridge of his nose. If it really is sentient, that is. So what do we do? It's that time, Captain, where I absolve myself of all responsibility and put it on you. I follow your orders. I'll agree to whatever you say. That's not very fair, Gordon. You're the boss. I'm not. Gordon rubs his nose and lowers his eyes for a couple of seconds. I think I know what to do. Well, actually, let's just see. It's not easy to accept a rock as sentient, but Gordon stutters and scratches the back of his head absentmindedly. What if they're sentient and we take one of them? It'd be kidnapping a real personality, a peaceful a creature. That's the most okay. Anti-scientific. In that case, you don't need me, Captain. Gordon walks away without even turning off his camera. You can see right away how he chews someone out, waving his hands. Landing party, do you copy? Sir? Pack up and leave. Don't take anything with you. Sir, yes, sir. Affirmative. Click. Apparently, they've already started. Alright. Get me out of here. I don't remember if I did the moons. And let's do cartography and astronomy. All right. I think I'm still gonna go for these other until I find something good. I think I'm just gonna keep exploring these. Ooh, quite a bit. See, this is really close to the kind of planet we need, but... I actually kind of wish, so it did give me some parameters for the ideal kind of ship. Oh, here we go. Medium-sized, breathable atmosphere with biological activity and some reserves of natural resources. Interesting. So this is actually a candidate planet then. So there's biological activity, medium, and it's breathable atmosphere. I don't think I want to be taking the I'll take some of the resources, but not all. And let's get out of here so I can 1, 2, and 3. I have a hypothesis about those rocks, and it's actually related to Starflight, but I would be doing you a great disservice if I if I went into detail. So I'm just going to keep it to myself. This has resources and wildlife, so let's start with that. All right. Landing. Well, I mean, I can. It's actually a major plot point at the end of the game. All right, I'm thinking we found a bug. All right. All right, guys, so... Ah, there we go. Never mind. Okay. Just keep firing, man. Whew. Oh, we're overweight. So the nice thing is, because it's a breathable atmosphere, we can basically just keep looking around. Captain, the landing party has collected enough data about this planet. It has a breathable atmosphere, acceptable gravitation, and suitable climate. It's completely colonizable, but it would be nice if someone brought back some samples of the local fauna and resources. Yeah, it would. Let's bring back a couple of local animals and look for some deposits. Yep. Oh, we are screwed. Okay. Nice. I think here we run away. You don't deserve this planet anymore! Oh, it's angry. It's coming right for us. Yeah, we defended ourselves, chat. Also, I think we lost the soldier at some point. The one thing I'm worried about is sort of clearing out the resources and the wildlife. Is this about your friend? Actually, we possibly are missing 2 soldiers, because we've got 433. Oh wait, this is my landing party, never mind. So I think probably what I'll do here is I'll just sort of weigh myself down with as much swag as I can get. God help me if I have to find my ship again. We've had everything fall into our hands, from furniture to entertainment systems to art pieces. Nothing particularly useful to us, but it will give psychologists on Earth a lot to work with. The major museums will probably get into a fight over these items. Okay, so it looks like time does go by as I explore a planet. So I think we'll just do a little more exploration here. I might actually launch the ship and re-land just to make sure that I haven't sort of mined everything out. So for instance, I don't know if that's the last resource or not. So if I find another one, that's fine, then I'll mine that. but I'd actually like to confirm that there's at least something on the planet. It might be that I'm sort of misinterpreting what the game wants in terms of there being resources on the planet to colonize it, but I'd rather not run that risk. That's a creature. Ooh. I hope I'm actually getting something for all this exploration. Oh, you don't have one of these yet. Alright, I think it's time to find my ship again. Okay, well there's definitely more, there's definitely more resources left. Unfortunately, it does not seem to want to tell me where my ship is. I don't think we have one of those either, but it might tell me down below here whether or not I'm gaining like cartography points. It's also possible the game will say it's like, hey, based on the maps that you've gotten, we've completed the cartography project. So I'm actually running out of research projects. So I'm probably going to want to wrap this up and head home, assuming I know where home is. I'm trying to find this balance of like unlocking new areas while still heading generally in the direction of my ship. And then I get distracted by stuff. Okay, map-wise, we have at least one more resource. Oh, we're overweight, so. Oh yeah. If I couldn't mine that last one, I can't mine this one. And seeing as the mine is so, or the gold is so close. Okay, seeing as we found an inhabitable planet, I'm actually going to head back to the solar system, because that's a fairly major discovery. Let's do 1-1. I kind of want to prioritize these aliens. Hang on, what's the coordinate? 122, 164. How's that research coming, guys? Almost done? Oh, and this says all astronomy data is collected. And we need to be in the specific star system, so I've been wasting my time with these ones. So let's throw it into these. We should probably just do one. Yeah. I'm a little happier with that. And we'll put everything into the cartography. Okay. Earth Defense Systems detected unauthorized surface scanning. Signatures are recognized as belonging to the Aurora project ship. Humanity gives brave explorers a warm welcome. Hail. Your immediate superior, Martin Kilmovy, is looking straight at you. Maybe he missed you, maybe not. It is really hard to tell. You can see tiredness in his eyes. His shirt and waistcoat have a scent of a typical men's cologne. I'm glad to see you, Commander. Report. Yes, sir. To be straight with you, I have a lot of things to report about. This conversation will take several hours. He shakes his head. That's too bad. There are a lot of journalists outside. If they don't get you, they simply take us by storm. Martin, sir, I have a few questions about this. What should I say? What must I say? Kilmovy shakes his head. Well, that depends on the obtained results. I can tell you precisely that you mustn't tell them about the Aurora 1. As for other things, damn it, you're the hero of Earth. Is there anything I can say that might help you with all those questions? I doubt it. Too bad it seems. It won't be an easy task. We'll see. It's time to go. Good luck. And one more thing. You still have your place at the table. Does your wife still bring her cookies here? He laughs. Sure thing. Some things will never change. At least something good. You're behind a tribune. Kilmovy is next to you. There's a small room full of people. Sounds of recording cameras and speedlights. There's an awful buzz. Finally, tired Kilmovy waves his hands and knocks on the tribune. Gentlemen, silence, please. A few minutes later, the crowd finally calms down, but there's still a lot of speedlights and clicks. Kilmovy takes the floor once again. Dear journalists, I need to notice the fact that we don't have much time. I'll be much appreciated if you try to understand it. Here comes the encouragement noise. After a while of looking around at a sea of hands, he points out a hand. It's a girl. She's about 20 or even less. Sea-sized breasts and a form fit. Why do I need to know? Like, am I just like leering at every single woman I run into in this game? Blogging platform Empire. Please tell us, how did space welcome you? Did you have contact with aliens? Jesse Quill, how would you rate that woman on a scale of 1 to 10? Oh my god, I don't understand any of these answers. Okay, how did it welcome me? Then how did Terra Incognita welcome Columbus? How did Shores of America welcome ancient Vikings? How did Mongolia welcome Marco Polo? What about Aztecs and conquistadors? Well, space welcomed me with its novelty that could be a saving source for us and our planet. You're too fast without a peep. I'm confused. You know it's hard to tell you. This wasn't my first interplanetary flight, and that's why I am at a loss to answer. Space has become familiar to me, yet it has become so unknown to you. It's not only about me, although I'm the commander and I take the responsibility on the spaceship. We're a team. Space showed us a lot. Its beauty, its infinite. I don't want any of these, but the third one is fine. The girl gesticulates with passion. Her breasts is slightly shaking. The second question. Like, I'm just imagining, like, in the grim future of a humanity near extinction, we're all just a collection of breasts dangling in the wind. The second question. According to the information we have received from the Aurora, they've met the aliens. And what about you? Did you meet them? If the answer is positive, who talks like this? How far have you gotten into the development of an interplanetary relationship? Sure, I did meet them. Or wait, did you mean something different? Yuck! Yes, we had contact with the aliens. There were not so many of them, but the communication was was successful. As for the interplanetary relationship, I'm so sorry, but I didn't understand your question, to be honest. We're not the only ones in the universe. It's hard to say if it is good or not. It's the fact, and perhaps some of you will find alien traditions a bit weird, but that's okay. Well, in fairness, Jesse Quill, if the world were coming to an end and I had a place to make my final stand, or perhaps my final lay, I know I would... Sorry. Audience rushes to the tribune. The young journalist is swept to the back seats. Kilmovy starts to frown. Gentlemen, stop it. I'm pretty sure those aren't gentlemen. Those are sea-sized boobies coming towards me. Stop it. Enough. I will have to end the conference earlier. The audience calms down again. Kilmovy is choosing a journalist thoroughly. What's her cup size? And the next question you receive is from a stout man with a less presentable appearance. George Zotov, World's Voice Publishing. What's the result of your contacts with the aliens? I think you don't need to watch so many movies. Make your question more specific. The journalist is a little embarrassed. Emma, aliens. What did the communication with the aliens come to? Should we expect some kind of long-term cooperation? Nothing specific. There were simply sessions of information exchange. I suppose in some way they didn't care a dime. I believe soon things will change, but now this is what it is. You must say that we want to. You may say that we took a closer look, but nothing more happened. Sure, eventually we're going to build stronger and more stable connections, or probably even organize business. It's a matter of time. I guess it's too soon to be more specific. Nevertheless, I tried to present our nation as well-developed and peaceful, deserving long-term and productive cooperation. I sincerely hope that I managed to do it. Satisfied with such a detailed answer, the journalist steps aside. In the meantime, the second Kilmovy makes an approving sign. You face the camera. Live. Good afternoon, my dear friends. Today we're taking part in a press conference dedicated to the return of the Aurora 2 spaceship from the expedition. And we have no time to lose. So, Commander, crisis is still eating away at the planet. Have you found a way to solve the problem? Yes, there is a solution, but I can't tell you more. As for me, the crisis doesn't frighten me anymore, and you shouldn't lose your heart. Certainly, yes, colonization of other planets is the way that may save Earth, perhaps. We will use this possibility. Lady, you overestimate the Aurora 2. We're simple people. However, we do have several ideas. Let's say colonization. The next one, a microphone behind your face again. Oh, conflicts. Did conflicts take place? Nope. You can't be too careful in this dangerous times. I hope you got my idea. Sure. Next question is a surprise to you. The Aurora 1. What can you say about the Aurora 1? Kilmovy raises his hand, but the cameras are already pointed at you and everybody wants an answer. The Aurora, the lost spaceship. What can you say about it? So he said, my task is not finding the Aurora, but saving the planet. And pay attention, I don't say saving the humans, because it's not only about them. And I think if you think I should give up everything I'm working on now and start chasing a ghost, I believe the main goal of my spaceship is looking for a way to get rid of the crisis, and when we find the way, we will look for the Aurora. I think that is the best decision right now. I understand your disturbance about our countrymen, and I can cheer you up. We found a trace of the Aurora, will follow soon, no matter where the humans don't leave. Yeah, why not? Buzz and hubbub. It's hard to understand people's attitude to you, but there's no need. Kilmovy checks his watch, bids farewell, and you to go away with him through a side door. It was, well, I hope I won't take part in such things in the future. Kilmovy smiles unkindly. You wish? I was kind of hoping for a little bit more, but I'm assuming we didn't lose? That's a good thing, right? Well, you're back. Any good news? We brought some presents from deep space. We're transmitting the received data. Process geodata. Let's see, you brought us 3646 points of data, giving you 4.577. Okay, sure, why not? Earth Alliance is pleased with your research project's progress, Captain. Carrying on, the people of all nations of Earth rely on you. I'll do my best. Oh god, there's so much. From the News Digest, they won't find the Aurora 1. It's probably destroyed by now, and they're faffing about with the aliens. War, war, war. Let's have total annihilation and total victory in space. Space is great, IMO. Endless possibilities. We're on the verge of a beautiful future, my friends. I'm happy to be alive at this time. I wonder if they have volunteering positions open. I don't believe them. I mean, it's obvious. Those bastards have been abducting us for ages, and now we talk to them, and we're suddenly best buddies? Peace and love? What a load of BS. The Aurora 1 is gone, and the Aurora 2 is still okay, huh? I mean, it's obvious. They're probably traitors. There's a war going on. War! Okay, dudes, we're getting together at my place as usual. Bring beer and MLP. MLP? What's MLP? What are you doing in my blog? It's members only. I wonder if that guy screwed any alien by now. What do you think? They're sexual? Doesn't matter. Wouldn't you screw an alien? LOL. No, I would. Imagine that, being the first guy to screw an alien. Project Aurora news. The most significant news of the last few days is the return of the Aurora 2, the second ship created by Project Aurora. As you may remember, the first one disappeared under mysterious circumstances, probably due to an alien, and right now there are no updates about it at the moment. Right after returning to Earth, the captain of the Aurora 2 attended a press conference where he answered some of the hottest burning questions. It became clear that for the captain of the Aurora 2, space is something beautiful and novel with a hint of romance, which reveals to him as someone who is truly in love with his job. He's just as excited about interplanetary contact, which is a good thing for a modern pioneer of deep space. He also remarked that in such contact, in any shape or form, is very important for humanity, and work is already being done to have a favorable image. What does raise concern is the crisis question. The captain not only declined to give a clear answer. What are you talking about? I said I was going to colonize space. But it could be seen that from the way that he looked that the Aurora 2 is not doing great. I don't agree with that at all. Concluding the press conference with the same information about the search for the Aurora 1, the captain assured us that his trail had already been found, and a search was bound to be a success, thus giving hope to the families left behind by the ship's numerous crew members. Alien Art Exhibition. Recently, an exhibition of alien art took place in the Space Museum at the Aurora Complex. Paintings and statues made by aliens made it clearer than ever that we are not the only intelligent creatures in the universe. We are also not the only ones who have emotions. Status report. Greetings. This is an automated message sent to you by the UNS Information Center. All cargo loaded according to the manifest provided, and your ship is ready to launch at any time. Have a nice flight. Do not respond to this message. And good luck. Greetings on behalf of Earth Command of Space Exploration Project Aurora. I wish you luck in your mission. The fate of the Earth, the future of the crew, and humanity depends on heroes like you and your crew. All right. We can spend research points to develop new technologies. Interesting. Oh, I have to do this in order. Okay. Extraterrestrial activities. New civilian scanners allow you to extract more information. More detailed reports mean higher price. 10% to geodata cost and credits. Why would I want to pay more? This is actually a very tempting one to do. And humanity progress. Okay, let's do the full 2,500. And we'll put the remaining into humanity. Hate you. Notice, Rosaline Jan is the mother of Corporal Martin Jan, KIA in last mission. Yep, we lost one. They told me I could write you a letter. I thought about it for a long time. They said they wouldn't read it, and I wanted to write all that I think about you, but I realized it wasn't your fault. But tell me, did you know him? Did you know Martin Jan? He was my boy, my only one. My. Why didn't you save him? What kind of captain are you? Why did my son had to die? Why wasn't it someone else? I hate you. I hate the Aurora. I hate all of your ships and all your goddamn projects and all your scientists of this world. Love, Rosalind. Found an excellent planet for future colonization. Excellent. Martin gets distracted and puts some information into the computer. I hope you people have already sent them to the science division, haven't they? Sure, everything's okay. So we just have to bring colonists to the planet. You'll do it, but a little later, when everything is prepared. It makes me wonder, how does it all look like? Please tell me. I don't want to search the information. Just a simple planet, a little bit unusual, but it's normal. Nothing special. It seems to be too calm. Have you investigated it properly? Yes. Okay, well then, come back in a few months. You'll take the colonists. Any other questions? A few questions left. Oh. My therapist said that I had to write you and that it would help me, so I'm writing you. I'm sorry, but you'll just have to bear it. My last letter was very bad. The only reason I'm not asking for your forgiveness is because I am a strong woman. You can't take back what you said, but do know that I'm sorry. I still haven't introduced myself. You probably know my name already, but anyway, Rosalind Jan. You've already realized, right, but I'm the mother of Corporal Martin Jan. He died during one of your expeditions. You should know that by now. After so much time has passed, I think I can at least find solace in the fact that you brought back his body. I would have lost my mind if you didn't. I would have thought that he was still alive. I couldn't think any other way because I'm a mother. You can't possibly understand. I don't think I will ever forgive you, and I won't forgive Project Aurora either, despite the fact that they're trying to make life easier with compensations. Don't. My son gave his life for you. It was his choice, but I don't feel any better about it. Okay, so, I think I'm done with this game for tonight. I know this is a little bit shorter than what I normally do cast-wise, but this seems like a fairly decent place to put a break into the game, so let's just give that a new slot. Let's go to the main menu, and I'm actually going to bring up the blog for myself and read a little bit about it, and we'll decide whether or not I keep going with some more games. It is a little late. So this was Aurora, or also known as Aurora Roguelike. It's currently in version 0.5.4. So a lot of the things sort of seem to be, about kind of bug fixing right now. What to say about this? So one thing I'll say is that the real judgment that I'll have about this will be going through more than one playthrough of this, because I'm not clear how many are scripted events and how many of these things are, and how many of these are just kind of the random generation. My usual experience of roguelikes has been that I die very quickly at the start, so it seems like this game actually makes an effort to get you invested in the world, and it's not immediately punishing in difficulty. There's actually been relatively little combat. Of course, I also sort of specifically avoided some of it as well. My original interest in it was that it sort of seemed to be not unlike the game Starflight. And I still don't quite shake that feeling. It's different from it, but I do sort of get a little bit of that flavor. I hope I'm not wrong on that. It's an interesting one. It definitely still feels a little rough around the edges, and especially some of the dialogue bits. As much as I love doing dialogue, it felt a little meandering at some points. And in one sense, it can actually be a really interesting science fiction story, right? Like, you've got all these elements, humanity needs to go to another planet in order to, in order to kind of survive. But of course, the universe is inhabited by other creatures, some that you understand, some that you don't, some more technologically advanced. Others that are effectively at your mercy. So it's interesting. I'm definitely going to play more of this. I'm going to play more of this in patch 0.5.4. And I think I'm also going to be spending some time reading this blog, taking a look at where they plan on taking this game. Because I think the basics are down, but I mean, so far, I mean, I can't make any buying recommendations. You guys know I'm terrible at those. This game is available right now. I believe there's also a version that you can download off of the website. But yeah, I mean, insofar as I can give any kind of recommendation, you are buying the future potential of this game. This would not be the complete experience by any means, and it's never advertised itself like that. But I'm sufficiently interested. Two, it's similar enough to a game that I really think is ripe for an update in the form of Starflight. And like I said, it has the potential for an interesting story, and I will admit, so I think the problems dialogue and writing wise are more than just mere translation issues. I think they do need to tighten up some of the sequences. Like, if it doesn't specifically advance either a plot or a challenge, it should maybe be a little bit shorter. And I sort of feel like these press conferences could potentially be a little bit more interesting. Although, again, that might actually be something lost in translation, because I thought I was sort of handling it in a very consistent way, but the answers sort of seemed to be ones that talked about me being evasive. But maybe the last thing I'll do is I'll give you the developer's word about it. So this is from their blog. About Aurora is a sci-fi roguelike video game. A player takes control over a spaceship that was built with the cooperation of each and every Earth government. His task is to explore space, establish relationships with alien races, and bring back home any valuable objects, including alien artifacts of forgotten civilizations and secret cookie recipes. Can help Earth overcome the political and energy crisis. The human governments will estimate your efforts. They won't let you waste their time and ineffectively use their precious spaceship. The game is a mixture of roguelike game and a sandbox with a global plot. The player will have an opportunity to travel and fight in space, on surface planets, and even in alien structures. The crew contains the best specialists from the planet Earth. Dozens of scientists are looking forward to researching alien artifacts, while the engineers are waiting for an opportunity to repair the spaceship, and the experienced soldiers are willing to give their lives to protect the planet. Each department has its own chief, who will have an important role in the storytelling. System of scientific and engineering projects is similar to XCOM. Not really, because science is much more important than engineering in this, and in XCOM it's the other way around. Any artifact that you can find can be researched, and this might open your way to new projects and technologies. What is important, these projects can influence not only your spaceship, but also the entire Earth. If you get the information on effective usage of solar energy, the Earth scientists will try to solve the energy crisis by using this technology. Exploration, diplomacy, battles, and cold, lonely space. You'll find it all in Aurora. Links, Facebook group, download our page on Rogue Basin, and bugs can be reported. So it does look like there's a copy of this that you can download. I would actually recommend you guys check it out yourself. AuroraRoguelike.com. Also viewable here. And this game is currently available to buy on Steam. Let me see for how much. Currently 41 positive reviews, although we were talking about how that doesn't necessarily mean anything. It is currently on sale in the Halloween sale. So $2.74 Canadian. Playable on what looks like Windows and Steam OS. Thank you, Jesse Quill. That will come... That's for the base game, and there's a special edition with the soundtrack. Soundtrack is $1.09 Canadian. Who is the friend who wants this game? T. Clark. But yeah, so I think it's... I don't know, I'm interested. The aim is to release the game early 2017, and why early access? Not all the planned content is made inside of the game. Price will be the same as the early access version, so that's an important thing. If you want to participate in the development and you want to check out the game as it's getting formed, you can buy it now, $5.49 if you don't get it on sale. It's half off, so it's a pretty decent deal. Personally, I don't like early access games going on sale, because the point is that this is not a product you want to get out the door and get people to buy as many copies of. This should be a very dedicated group of players who actually want to play something early on, but I mean, that's a losing battle for me, so. I have no idea, Maticus Ray. This is the first time I've ever played the game. Looks like the storyline isn't complete yet. There's a lot of side content, which I always think is a bit of a dubious claim. We'll also work on a new interface. Current one isn't the permanent. The interface isn't actually the problem on this game. I definitely think the story needs quite a bit more polish. But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting game. I'd say it's probably priced right for what it is right now. But I'm always willing to sort of give the benefit of the doubt. This is an interesting game which needs some polish, but I think is a lot better off. I mean, so here's the thing, right? Like we were talking, I won't say the name of the game, but Jess is thinking exactly. I have been looking for a good hacker game, and I think I've found one. But then I saw another hacker game, which is basically just like it's like basically somebody's effort for a cash grab, basically. I would much prefer something like this, which is a little rough around the edges, but is genuinely making an effort, versus, you know, something that is, you know, it's in its final form and is just very generic and safe and doesn't really do anything. Yeah, that Hacknet is the hacking game I was thinking of that looks fun. My only complaint about it is that I can't delete saves, so I wanted to go from the beginning to do it on stream, and apparently there is not a way for me to start again from zero, which I think is a little silly. Yeah, so guys, I mean, I'm saying that there's a download on the website. This is not how I got the game. I was given a key from the developer, which I actually should have said at the beginning, so my apologies for not disclosing that a little bit better. I cannot endorse, and I'm not going to tell you what you're getting if you use that download link, because I don't know. But it seems to me that there's at least some way of experiencing this title if you don't want to buy it on Steam. Although, again, the price that it's on for Steam is quite reasonable. I say either toss $2 my way or toss $2 for the Aurora people. I don't really care which. Actually, I care deeply about which one. But anyways, we'll call it for this game. And we will, like I said, we will get back to this in the future. So I think the question for me is whether or not I keep streaming. I know it will be a short stream tonight if I drop it here. But the second game I wanted to play, I think, is going to take a little too long. And, you know, I do actually have a caster who's hit a milestone, and I actually think it would be, I think it's going to be a little more higher in energy than what I have right now. So this is going to be a shorter cast tonight, guys. I hope you guys liked Aurora. If not, we're going to be playing something different on the weekend anyway, although we will be returning to Aurora in the semi-near future. I don't know. I was interested. And I'm actually probably going to put a little time in this on my own. I'll maybe start like a new save game.
For lack of a better word, is good.
Of all the people, Jess, put that money towards a plane ticket. Thank you so much, my friend. That means a lot, especially coming from you. But yeah, I'm actually gonna host. Kitsch 22 tonight. Kitsch 22 is celebrating his anniversary on stream. There's a bunch of really crappy streamers who are being hosted right now, actually. So I would much rather have this really great streamer get his host. That's 1 year anniversary cast. He, I think, is doing Bubble Bobble right now. It looks like he's doing some maintenance on his arcade cabinets, possibly. But anyways, Kitsch is a really great caster. He got partnership really early. He's a very hardworking guy. And it would be outstanding if we can get a little bit of support. Oh, thank you, Jesse Quill. I'm an idiot. But yeah, it would be great if we can get some support over for his cast. As for me, I'm going to try casting again this weekend, probably tomorrow. And either I will do the next promo key that I've been given, or I might do something special. I've got a couple of things in mind, so we'll see how it goes. Anyways, guys, have a great evening, and we'll see you next time.